Out with the old, in with the new. I told you. Just like the police. The old police are to be removed by problem, reaction, solution. The NAACP, the old black leadership, are to be removed through problem, reaction, solution. But did you see it in the Rachel Dolezal story? That went right along with the Aretha channeling story. Did you see it? NAACP imposters sued school over race claims. Now, we're going to talk about race because it needs to be talked about. And more truthers, who are truly truthers, need to include this part in their conversation. Not dismissively, not in denial, not operating out of pride, shame, rationale, justification. But really looking at this thing, if you are really concerned with mind control and you're concerned with how all people are mind controlled, you will recognize the differences in the forms of mind control, especially as it has historically been aimed at different ways at a particular community. Mind control targets all people. But when you state this, people get butthurt. Picking sides and being aware is two different things. You're not supposed to be able to see the connection between the chosen people and black, quote unquote, black Americans not having an identity and having an identity crisis and a serious identity problem. You're not supposed to be able to see that and overstand that Messiah said, who is my mother and who is my brother, but those who do the will of my Father. You're not supposed to be able to see both. So what am I, an alien? Because I can see both. So you only speak on one side of the truth. Whatever side of the truth you're most emotionally vested in, that's the side you will speak on. Because you are a girl. I didn't say a woman. You're a girl. And I know you're a girl. There's no way that a real, wise, and civilized, true and living child of the Most High Creator can look at this stuff that's going on and not see that they being gamed unless you running game. And I don't like when nobody game me. I don't care what color they are. So we're going to tell the truth about this thing, and you're going to put your feelings on the side because the truth has to be told. So the sparing of feelings is moot. That's a moot point. For too long, people won't say certain things because they feel like it'll get misconstrued. And don't put words in my mouth. I can put words in and out of his mouth just fine. I don't need your help. What I said is what I said. Don't add to it. Don't take away from it. But what I said was true. And like I say, keep living each and every day. As you look at the news, you see more and more of these things coming to the light. Now, this NAACP chapter president, how did they become chapter president? Admittedly, I was trying to think, was I a member? At one time, I may have been a member. But admittedly, many black people as I know, I don't know now one belong to the NAACP that's revolutionary minded. But the NAACP has always been fake. Now they're just going to show you that it's fake. Like the police department has always been scantless. Now they're just going to show you that it's scantless because they're running a game that requires for you to respond a certain way or react a certain way so that the desired solution can come in. The desired solution is a new form of black leadership from the whateverism generation who think everything is all good. Lesbianism is all good. I'm telling you these things for a reason. You watch what happens. This will be the final nail in the coffin for the NAACP that's already been wheezing and coughing on its deathbed for the longest. No disrespect to those who really use the NAACP as an outlet to do good works. But by and large, as a body dedicated to the upliftment of colored people, we don't even call ourselves that no more, they have missed the mark. And young folks is not feeling it. So you should not be surprised that a psy-op news story like this is coming out now. If they wanted Rachel Dolezal to remain an undercover agent, they would not have outed her. They out their own, they who? The Illuminati. Out their own undercover agents. She was sent in to infiltrate and do that and be that. This ain't no willy-nilly thing, just happened by circumstance. Look at the contrast in the picture. This is a deception maneuver. The picture they have one of her side by side in her white costume, and the other one of her with the curly girl and a tan and a different expression on her face. See? Supposed to look like a sister, like a wise and civilized sister. See, it's things about this that can be faked, and you know the fakeness by its connections. That's how you know it by. You can call a troll a troll. I don't never go to people's sites where I know they jiving and trolling and going on and they government connected and leave a comment. Where they do that at? So if you really believe that, why are you leaving a comment? Hello? Don't play no games with me, baby. You checkers level. All right. The parents out the black NAACP leader as a white woman. And where do they do that at? Again, everything marking this story should have told you this is more of the out with the old, in with the new. New leadership. And I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be the NAACP or any of the old school movements. It's going to be Black Lives Matter. And that movement will be able to move black folks into New Age noir. That movement will be used to position black folks to be godless, whateverists, and try to fight for freedom alongside trannies, lesbians, and homosexuals. That's what's being plotted right now. The plot is not hard to tell. That's where they're moving things. Some of you who are already qualying in your philosophy, you already believe, man, do as thou wilt. You already want to do whatever. You don't want any governing. You don't want any lordship of any kind. You can't get married because you would never submit to a man. You cannot submit. And so where things are going is right where you want them to go. The great many of you. So you will fall in line with this. And I'm telling you right now, they're going to start you off with a little Egyptian eye makeup. Brothers. And the next thing you know, you're going to have a shindig on and some sandals. Walking around looking suspect. That's what this is all about. That's where this is going. Where's Rachel Dolezal's husband? Or where's her black boyfriend? I will guarantee you that this is another play. This is a play to help move us one step closer to what I said it before. Look at the dates on these things. I said they was going to have to create a new black movement that would not have the spiritual covering of the old black movement. Yeah, the old black movement was full of holes. But what kept it afloat was the Most High holding up that boat. Why? Because you had people who feared and revered the Most High within that movement. Even so, the infiltrators could not get everything done they wanted done. Because why? You brought the Most High into it. The new movements, gonna be none of that. Ain't gonna be none of that. It's gonna be Asar and Arset, Isis and Osiris. Yeah, the Ankh is going to be used as the sword going into battle. Yeah. And it will be insincere because it will be people who are behind the movement to push us all into the Babylonian mystery system. Who will be behind this particular movement within the black community? And it's the only way to get it done. You make black folks mad at white folks. Make them so mad with throw everything away. And then you keep having the agents on the side constantly saying, white man gave you the Bible. White man gave you the Bible. White man gave Christianity. Long as they keep saying that, and you don't want to do it anyway. You don't want to do none of that stuff. You want to eat your pork chop. You want to do everything like you've been doing anyway. So long as they keep saying, white man gave you the Bible. White man gave you the Bible. You get mad and mad about that Bible. And then here come the new black leadership telling you what time it is. Tariq Nasheed standing on the side. And they're going to be marching talking about Black Lives Matter. And there ain't going to be no God in it. Believe it. They're going to have some spiritual help. Believe that. But it ain't going to be the type of spirits you're going to want attached to you. You the see and believing type. See that first, then believe it. Let's look a little taste at this story. And then we're going to look at being unequally yoked. Again, duality, a time of pairing, Gemini, twins, double identities. Okay. Pitting one side against the other, duality as opposed to balance. All of these things are the themes that we are seeing today. Now, do we want to look at the Business Insider? Let's look at the Business Insider and see what they have to say about this story, if we can. Having some connection issues. Okay, that's cool. Well, let's look a little bit at that, and then at some more scripture. And we're going to look a little bit at being not unequally yoked, especially during this time. It says Rachel Dolezal may have plagiarized a 200-year-old Rachel Dolezal's parents. She wants to reject us and her family. Rachel Dolezal's parents, saddened by her dishonesty. So again, one at night, but not last night. This story is an obvious duality play and obvious race war psy-ops. Make folks mad yet again. In the midst of this, have you ever heard so much racial tension in the news? I've never heard this much. And I was around during the Rodney King stuff, paying close attention to that news. Never heard anything like this. Never heard it daily, driven into our heads daily. Black and white are supposed to fight every day, every day, every day, every day. Don't feel a need to justify yourself if you've done nothing wrong. Huh? And don't internalize the negative feelings that you may have heard come from other black men. We're not all the same. But what I say it with intent. And I also say it with caution and care. Because by my words I will be justified and by my words I will be condemned. But you're not going to put words in my mouth. And you're not going to pull false words out there. You ain't going to do it. Quote it. But don't misquote it. Have mercy. And that's evidence of booty hurtness. And you need to go in the mirror. Go look in the mirror and check yourself. Do a checkup from the neck up. That's right. So let's look at that. Being unequally yoked nowadays, with all of the things that we're seeing being promoted in the media, can be very dangerous for you. The mind control that's being pushed out today is more intense and oppressive than I've ever seen it. And this is because the next step is going to be this. With all of you unequally yoked folks out there, I know things can happen in life. I know the Bible says that a believing wife can be the salvation of her unbelieving husband. She can lead him to salvation. But let me tell you, yes, it's in the air. It's in the air right now. But man, I forgot what I was about to say. Listening to the children out there. Hold, let me close this window. Hold on. Okay, I don't know if y'all heard that, but you may hear some more. That wasn't children. That's adults. Adults outside arguing. Black versus white. Now, I tried to ear hustle a little taste, but it's young people, and this is very interesting. Young people in their 20s, maybe hovering right around 30. They wasn't very young, but young professional people out there arguing like that. And from what I could tell, there was a cause to be concerned. But see, sometimes it's not what you say is how you say it, and what you do is how you do it. Sometimes. And see, we've been caricaturized and stereotyped so much that we believe it. And so when certain situations arise, you believe that the default way, feel how you're going to feel. The default way to act is the way you've seen on TV. Or have heard on the radio. Because black radio is as bad as 24-hour Springer show. In general. We don't have problem solving skills. We don't have communication skills in general as a society. And then they come out with the statistic that says that putting an iPad in your child's hands as early as possible is good for them. I bet you if we back engineer and backtrack and trace, we will find the source of that study. It's connected to Apple some way, somehow, being paid off by Apple. But we don't know how to communicate. So when problems arise, our way of resolving those problems is the way of a savage. It's the way of a savage. I had an issue at a store. Somebody was trying to play me. And I spoke with him, I firmly let it be known that I knew what they were saying was wrong, that I was being mistreated. But the way I spoke gave them every inclination and idea that they may be legally culpable if they don't do me fairly. And, it worked. In most of my experiences, it always works better. The civilized approach always will get you what you wanted in the end, more so than anything else. Because see, after you get mad and things don't go right, then what do? You go get somebody to sue them. Yeah, it was one of them type of situations. See, so you have to go get somebody who know how to talk sensible and straight, because you can't when you're irate. That's bad. When I'm mad, I can my verbals get more focused. But they've been for a long time, even since Grand Theft Auto, the video game. Yeah, the video game, the hood version, San Andreas. They proved to me something then that I didn't understand where it was going, but I knew then. I said, you know what? They have cyberized how to act black. It's been cyberized. He had a certain walk, It's been they've created the algorithm, the formula for how to act black. You just wave your hand like the little girl was doing who was channeling Aretha. You just throw your hand up and you roll your neck and roll your eyes and stomp your feet and say, this black girl you sure can't beat, right? Or you get the curly girl and a tan, a look of intensity and deep wisdom in the eyes, and a black man, like old girl did, Rachel Dolezal. Doles all. What did she dole out to all? But I digress. They've put parameters, and they've created a formula for how to create a nigga. And some of you are in lockstep sync with it, because all you do is you regurgitate the things that they want you to. You feel how they, the powers that be, the new world order, the new world order, the new secular order, godless order. You believe everything they want you to believe. You feel how they want you to feel. You react when they want you to react. You listen to the songs they want you to like. You go to the sites they want you to like. You care about the people they want you to care about. You don't do nothing but what you're told. You're already a zombie. Zombie, a robot, a slave. You're mentally enslaved. It's the worst type of bondage. And you need to come out of Babylon. In the mentals, you don't understand what coming out of Babylon mean. You think you know, but you don't know. So you can't come out of Babylon. All of your ways are Babylon, and you love them. You've gotten to the point where you don't want this to end. When the Messiah and them come and put this thing together like it need to be put together one time, a tear's going to fall slowly from your eye. As you see all of the things that you once loved about this world being revealed for what they are and going down the tubes in flames. That's where we're at. So right now, what you made of is being tested. What you made of? What you really about? I hear what your mouth talk. But do you like devilishness? Show me you don't like devilishness. Show me you're not attracted to devilishness. Devil is as devil does. What makes you a devil, you do things that the devil do. The devil, first of all, can't be told to submit to the Most High, true and living God. That's the first thing make you devil-like. Second thing make you devil-like is you don't like people. Because you've become so arrogant. Yes, you've become so arrogant that you believe that all the people is crazy and messed up and you the only one sane. You have to have balance. You need balance in your life. You're operating with too much duality. Everything in opposition to each other. It's us versus them. It's this side versus that side. Where's duality? How things blend in. Sometimes you need a spoon and a fork. Hello. You'd be mad if all you ever had was one or the other. But it's a time to use a fork and a time to use a spoon, fool. I don't know what to say for you. Except goodbye. Yeah. So, now is the time. What do you believe in? For real is being tested. When asked in public what you think about transgender people getting rights next to African American people. First of all, it shouldn't be no black leaders. Why we need leaders? What a Chinese leader? Who is the top Chinese leader in America? Where he at? I want to highlight him. We need some advice on this side. First of all, that's the problem. You let somebody put somebody in front of your face and say, here go your leader. I know for a fact that's something that's elected by the people. The people select that person, and that person don't even have nothing to do with it. I was voted class leader Mumford High, didn't run. It's already something the people see. So if that title have to be put on you, especially by the powers that be, and even worse by the enemy, hey, the same devilish media that's supposed to be against us tells us, oh, this is your leader. This is your new black leaders. This is here. Meet Al Sharpton. Here. Meet Black Lives Matter. Whatever it is. Whatever it is, we need to get down to the bottom of it and find out, is it organic or not? Because, see, we always hope and pray that it is. But like I said before, the community is always taking care of itself. You don't need somebody to come in from outside to show you, let me show y'all how to organize. Not in Detroit, not in Chicago, not in Philadelphia. Places have a history of knowing how to organize. So how is it then that outsiders are needed to come in here and tell us how to do things, how to feel about them and everything? What slogans to say and all of that? We don't need it. And we should reject it. If you come to our city and you want to have some kind of gathering, no matter what city it is, you should go first to the leadership, the proven leadership, in that city, who the people like, who the people say, look out for us when we're done unjustly. And you need to make inroads with them first and foremost. That's how business is done. Anything else is monkey business and foolishness. Now, but yeah, we should not need that leadership. And certainly we don't need no leadership that is going to minimalize the spiritual aspect of this great war. And certainly we don't want one who's going to lie about it either. Meaning, okay, they'll come in and say, well, yeah, we need some spiritual protection, so we're going to call on the ancestors. Your ancestor was a deity. Where do you get the concept that on the other side you have superpowers? TV and books. So regardless of the will of the creator, regardless of fate, regardless of what the other person got coming to him or not, because you call on your grandma reached down her mighty wrinkled hand and move everything around in order for you. I mean, I'm sorry. I used to believe it. I like to believe it. If anybody grandma would have came back, mine would have. It don't work that way. That's the spookism. Huh? Hello. See, put everything in its right place. That's where they go. That's where you put spookism at. I don't worship no ghosts. That's equivalent to worship. Why grandma got to reach down her mighty hand? She's supposed to be resting. She has no position of authority in the other realm just because she was my grandma and I loved her. You feel that? Somebody felt it. Somebody didn't. Somebody got mad, hot around the collar. You be all right. Put some of that on some fried chicken. Make it taste better. And that hot sauce you got, just hot. You sitting there seething. I meant it. You stupid and crazy. If you believe you're gonna pray to somebody dead and they're gonna come help, okay. Let's play that tape out. Okay, so let's say you do it and you're against me, and I do it too. Who ancestors is more powerful, mine or yours? So there's going to be a battle of the ancestors. The ancestors on the other side fighting with each other. I'm saying, what if we against each other, and you call your ancestors to help you come against me, and I call my ancestors to help me come against you? What if we related and don't even know it? See, that is a totally foolish concept. Don't make sense. It don't make no type of sense. It don't make $1 worth of change worth of sense. Hear me? Okay. But what I'm talking is crazy. And I don't go by what the scholars say, because I don't have no testimony. All y'all say, well, you're using the wrong name. Ain't now one of y'all gave me no credible testimony, not a single time, about you using another name and causing demons to flee. Real demons, baby, that growl at you and move things around the room. A real phenomenon. Now, if you've not experienced that, then hush up. Because you can't talk about what you don't know about. But if you're going to drop something on me, tell that lie. Let me help the trolls. Tell that lie. Lying and so-and-so. All right. I've had enough of you. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and look at some more things, something else. I believe that's been covered now. Fine. All right. So on the racial thing, it's not about picking sides. Or either you can be aware of who you are, or you can act oblivious to it. Because if you be aware of who you are, then you're putting white people down some type of way. That's psycho talk. Psycho babble, as a matter of fact. You're not supposed to be able to do both. You're not supposed to be able to see that. Well, okay. They lied about who the Israelites were. You're not supposed to be able to see that and deal with that without pride and supremacy, black supremacy. If you say that, that means you're into black supremacy. If you feel that, that means you're into having butthurt pains when somebody tell you the truth about something and you don't like it because it don't make you feel powerful no more. Get over it. Because I've never said that and used that as an excuse to put somebody else down or to prop nobody else up. I say it like it need to be said. I say it all. So check yourself. You need to check up from the neck up? Go do it. I'll wait. Now, also, something to keep your eye out for, folks. It's a fireworks celebration that goes on in Detroit around the 4th of July every year. They always have it down at Hart Plaza, which is a place filled with occult symbolism. I've showed that in videos too. That thing of a of a nut and I forget the other one, but the air and the water deity, the air deity stretched over the water deity. That is the Hart Plaza fountain down there. It's officially called, no, it's from the Horus Foundation, spelled Horace. I've showed that before. But anyway, that's the area they always have these celebrations and festivals in. Now, they've been quiet. Hear what I'm saying? They've been quiet for some time. But now, back during the Bad Boys Piston era, yeah, that's when it was live. Back during the Bad Boy Piston era, it was a big racial fight, not quite a riot. It didn't get to that point. It was an isolated incident, really. Some stupidity. But that got a lot of news, brought Detroit national headlines. It's one of the reasons why they made all them documentaries about Detroit in the 90s. But this year, for the fireworks, it's going to be a fireworks curfew for 4 days. And of course, the outcry is being generated now. They're trying to make it an issue that I don't even think it need to be made, because I was for the curfew. Okay, I don't see nothing wrong with it unless it interferes with young people that have to go to work. But of course, they're painting that as a thing of the police coming down on black youth who will be mostly affected by the fireworks curfew. So we're going to see if an event has to happen or happens down there on that occult laced land to help to kick off the next stage of the race war psyops in Detroit. Let's keep your eyes and ears open for that. The fireworks in Detroit and the curfew. Be ye not unequally yoked with unbelievers. If you got married or got hitched up while you were still in your unbelieving state and then you found the Lord, that's one thing. But if you as a believer take a non-believer as your mate, or even a lukewarm believer at this point in time, you have endangered yourself. You have been sleeping with the enemy. And now is the time, more than ever, where things people are saying on social networks, things that people are saying at the job, things that people are hearing broadcast throughout all forms of media, are the things that are causing division in households. Because it's time now. Now we're in the time where you have to take some sort of moral stand. Everything is going so wild, junky wild. Now you're being made to have to take a moral stand. And if that isn't a place that your relationship went before, I feel for you. Some people say, oh, I don't talk about politics and religions. Well, maybe there's certain places and spaces where that's wise. But at home, if you're not on a similar page, if y'all not at least in the same chapter, some of y'all not even in the same book, uh, it's going to mean more than argument soon. Why? Because those of us who don't go along to get along with the crawling and doest thou will society and the whateverism and the homogenics, we will be seen as enemies of the state. We are yet at the cusp. And right now you feel a little pressure. people saying, well, what do you think about Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner? That was a masterful psy-op that's going to take us right into the next level of the New World Order. Masterful psy-op. Because it makes you have to publicly, make a stand or make a stand about something public. And that's where it's going to start. And I'm telling you right now, if your spouse, and worse, if your children, if you have had an unbelieving spouse and you've raised children who have had it both ways, they've had the example of a believer and the example of a non-believer, and children are usually a little of each, a little of their father, a little of their mother. So if one of them was a non-believer, then you have allowed for that child to be infected with that portion. So what I ask all of you who have not chosen to do or been chose yet is to be sure that you get with somebody first and foremost before it's their looks, before it's their body, before it's their economics. It should be where they are with the Lord. And don't just let somebody tell you, because see, people will fool you. You need to see them in action. Okay, you need to spend a little time around them. Listen to their conversation with other people, especially with people who are still in the world, quote unquote, or admittedly still in the world at least. And one of the hardest counseling sessions that I have from time to time is a session with someone who is married to a non-believer. And I mean, not just somebody who's, ambivalent about it, or, really agnostic, not sure what to believe. But I mean, people who straight up don't believe it, don't want to hear it at all. How did you get married to somebody like that? Even when you had an inkling of belief and say you were still in the world, those are the hardest emails to read and then to write back to, because I don't want to be responsible for telling anybody, well, and I'm not. I don't do that. I never do that. You need to move on, even if that may be what I think. That would be something the Lord would have to move on them and tell them. But what I do want to point out is how the male, men, you're supposed to be the covering. You're supposed to be the spiritual covering. The most spiritual person in most households is the woman, most of the time. Now, my brother Joe, he was an exception to the rule, and sometimes you will find that that's usually a man with a mighty anointing on him. Okay, but you have this shallow new type of believer too. Okay, the men have to be about it. We got to be about it. We are the protection, not just the physical protection, but you're the spiritual protection over your home. Did you not know that? You are the spiritual covering. Your right to lead is contingent upon your allowing the Lord to lead you. You can't lead just because you got a Johnson. It leads you astray. But your relationship with the Father is what makes you a father and a leader over your household. If that is not there, then how can that male spiritually lead that household? That household is going to be under constant spiritual attack. If the male head of the house is not the spiritual covering, that household is going to be under constant spiritual attack and demonic assailment. So first and foremost, for you brothers who have families and who have little ones especially, as much as you protect them and you keep that thigh out, make sure don't nobody get in that house ain't supposed to. You also have to do the same thing with the spirit realm. Make sure don't nothing get in that house ain't supposed to. Hello? You need to hit your knees and do some praying. If your woman praying more than you, something is wrong. And ladies, if your man is praying more than you, it's something wrong. If it's anything y'all gonna compete about, y'all know y'all compete about different things. If it's anything y'all gonna compete about, let it be that. Y'all compete about that. See who put in more prayer work. Who more about it with the Father. Who more about the Father's business. Let that be your competition between one another. But I find that today, it's been one of the most common questions that I've been asked since people have been asking me questions, period. I'm talking about before YouTube. I have a good friend, good brother, who is contemplating marrying his sister. You know, he didn't do everything in divine order, but they already have a little one, and he loves them both. He want to marry them. He's got the ministry on him. Ain't no way he don't. The Lord will send him to give me a word consistently. It's on him. But see, soul ties. You want to be cautious about the soul ties that you have already made, because some of them need to be broken. You need to reverse those soul ties. And then also, you need to be cautious not to make any more bad business soul ties. Bold soul ties. I don't know how you spell bold. I don't know if it ended a B or a D. We've been saying it for years. But not good. I don't like bold business. But I digress. Yeah, you want to eliminate those soul ties that keep you tied to souls that are headed for damnation. And that's not being judgmental. I mean, Messiah did say, cast not your pearls before the swine. That means at some point you have to make up in your mind who is some swine. Okay? At some point. But you don't want to join yourself spiritually to people who are spiritually tormented. And that's what you end up doing. When you join with non-believers, see, we all have problems. Non-believers' problems become compounded because they are also suffering from the spirit of rebellion and denial, to where they won't bow down to nothing. They won't try the Lord. They had a bad experience. They won't try him again. Just like some lesbian women and their reason for turning away from men. Hello. You have a bad experience, you don't try it no more. I don't know about you. So if at first you don't succeed, try again. But for some folks, they've had a bad experience and they've turned away from the Lord. And although the Lord continues to protect them and at times correct them, he won't protect you when it's time for that individual to be chastised or to receive whatever payback that they get from deeds that they have done without having a connection with the Father or the Son. And so they do things without a clear moral compass. And they do things oftentimes justifying and rationalizing their actions. And so they don't even realize oftentimes when they've done wrong, because they have no standard of what wrong is. Right or wrong can change at any moment based on how they feel, what they want it to be, what they want right to be, what they want wrong to be. When that person gets their comeuppance and you're still tied to them, it's going to touch you too. Their shrapnel is going to get all over you. You don't want that. Now, Messiah didn't just preach to the choir. He went out there among the people and saved them, pulling them out of the fire. So you will need to be able to communicate with and operate with and operate around and to help to civilize, if you will, some of those who are not connected to the Almighty, but meant to be. You'll know the difference. But that's not what I'm talking about with ungodly soul ties and being unequally yoked. Some of you are dating or messing around with people that you know don't have the Lord in them no type of way. And it's been all right for you for a while. I'm going to prophesy to you right now. Listen, get up close here. Especially if y'all been doing the wild thing. All of the spirits that's attached to them, I'm talking about their ancestral spirits, everything, have a right. They have every right to jump on you. You hear me? And then to touch different things that are around you, things that you own. Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want to tie in with people who are on a steady diet of mind control. Mind control, steady diet of mind control. Movies, steady diet of mind control. Music, or a steady diet of mind control media. If you are on a steady diet of mind control social media and a steady diet of mind control music, how do you think that what makes you believe that you are immune to the spirits attaching to you that are meant to get attached to us from us listening to those things on a steady diet? You know, you check out things for awareness, you check out things for study, you check them out for your own confirmation. But you don't check them out mindlessly and let those things just play as you do what you do. Because that is a direct gateway straight to your subconscious mind, where thoughts and habits are formed and ideals and morals are also formed that sometimes you're not even in touch with until certain moments arise. And then what's programmed in your brain concerning a certain thing is going to kick in. If you think something enough, you'll say it. If you say something enough, you'll do it. Repetition is how mind control works. So be not unequally yoked. Be cautious, especially in these days and times of who you go into business with, who you do business with. Again, that's another way to make an ungodly soul tie bond. Okay? Do not mock brotherhoods in any way, shape, or form. Don't do that. Okay? You'll yoke yourself up with people, you know, saying they will, this our group. We're gonna call ourselves the brotherhood, and don't do that type of stuff neither. Okay, keep it loose, light. His yoke is easy and his burden is light. And keep it loose. And as long as the Lord is guiding whatever y'all do, and you copy the ways of the Messiah, copy the ways of the prophet. How you know their way? You got to read the stories of them. Despite all of the efforts that have been made by Masonic academics and scholars, and by Babylonian mystery system initiated black quote unquote scholars and teachers, their job was to keep you away from being able to identify with the prophets. You can do greater works than even the Messiah, but you have to first begin by doing some of the works of the prophets. You have to know the works of the prophets. Some of you have already begun by prophesying or by speaking things out or giving the word of knowledge at work. There may be somebody at your job you have been assigned. The Lord has assigned you to help to unplug them. Some young cat that'll listen to you, just to pass the time. Okay. But now is the time. It is essential that you do not bond yourself to those who are not of the Most High. Now, the next movie that we're going to work on, well, that we're going to experience, is going to focus more on the deliverance aspect of this ministry. I wanted to have some things out there I felt backlogged, if you will, concerning my nieces and nephews, and that out of 300 some videos, all basically done the same way, I want to give them something special that they can marinate on for a little bit. So this movie, it'll have some of the same aspects in it, but I want to go ahead and for those who've been patiently waiting for us to get back on the deliverance page, although I hadn't had any comments or emails to the effect, I know that there are some. For those who've been patiently waiting, I thank you for your patience and for your compassion and for your understanding, overstanding, and understanding that there are a lot of folks to serve and a lot of different needs. Different people learn things different ways. And I'm from the Renaissance city and somewhat of a Renaissance man, though I shall not be reborn again. I've went through that once. And I know I'm where he wants me to be at this time. So I do thank you for allowing me that freedom and that time. It was most gracious and caring of you to do so. And so we will return with that and the reading as scheduled for next time. But I wanted to just kind of say that, put that in your ears, put that out there, let you speak on it a little taste. And then we will be back with another movie by the weekend and another reading very shortly, okay? All right, much love and blessings to you all. Enjoy the balance of your day or your evening whenever this comes your way. And stay encouraged, watchful, and pray. Shalom.